Hello peeps, welcome along to the channel and welcome along to the second part of the video. So this video is going to be pretty much same as the first one. I'll be going through the remaining systems and having a look at the gameplay on them, and any fixes that I come across I'll share with you. I'm literally showing you as exactly how I tested the drive. So I load a game up, I play it, if it works I'll show you the footage. If there's something wrong with it, or I make some improvements to it, or I update the drivers, or update the emulation or whatever, then I'm doing it in the exact order that I actually filmed it in. That's why it looks a bit all over the place. Maybe I could have done a video first of all the gameplay footage and then showed you the fixes and whatever else I did, but I sort of just went with it and just edited it in the exact order that I did it. Again, if you haven't seen the first video, the reason why I've called it Kinhank stroke Peaprit is because when I was scrolling through the Hyperspin attraction mode, there's a load of QR codes for the Kinhank drive. But basically, I watched a video of somebody reviewing the Kinhank drive, and the only difference that I could see was the Play Night system seemed to have a few more PC games on. All the emulation looks exactly the same, so whatever fixes I'm showing you, whatever improvements I'm showing you on this drive, which is a Peaprit drive, will work as well as on your Kinhank drive. And also in this second video, I will have sound. Hopefully the voiceover doesn't mess up like something normally does, but I'm hoping that's not the case. That being said, let's crack on with video and we'll start off with Sega Saturn. So starting off with Sega Saturn, I load Command & Conquer and Duke Nukem up at the start, and both are running crazy fast. So all you've got to do, while you're in your Sega Saturn games wheel, press your back button on your Xbox controller or select on PlayStation, go down to Advanced Game Options, click the emulator, and change this one to the Madnafin Saturn core, and then all the games play normal speed.
Reinforcements have arrived. New construction options.
Moving up. Good morning. Reappointing technology. Roger.
My grandma rides faster than you, and she's in a jar on the mantle. Got it.
And then moving on to the Dreamcast, we're going to stick to whatever emulators automatically set on the drive, which I believe will be the Liberto Flycast core. All we're going to do is go down to internal resolution, and we're going to change this to 960 by 720p. Now yours will probably go up to 1080 easily, your PC. And every game run absolutely perfect. I didn't have one game not load.
I've got to refresh your memory on how to use the coil chute. Use X, Y, B, and A to move around. Try pressing two buttons at the same time for diagonal movement. Use the analog stick.
Okay, hang on.
Go that way!
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, damn it!
And then moving on to the Sega Hikaru, or however you pronounce it. There's only 5 games in here, all 5 games loaded and played fine. There was an odd bit of issue with the sound, especially on the Brave Firefighters, but besides that, they all seem to play okay.
Ready, go! Nope, try it again. Ooh, no good. Nope, try it again.
Then on to Nintendo 64. First game I loaded up with Dr. Mario. All seems to be working fine, but when I went to actually play the game, the background turned black so you couldn't see what was going on. So again, I go back to the Nintendo 64 wheel, press the back button, go down to your emulator, and I'm going to change this to the parallel N64 core, and that's the core that I use for the rest of the videos. Again, every game will run fine on the Nintendo 64. So basically, just a tip for setting your controls. Like when you load a game up like Duke Nukem, it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be unplayable to do with the controller. You're going to need to set it to your own controls. So the easiest way I find is, if I push forward on the left thumbstick and it's looking up instead of moving forward, then I know I need to switch them 2 options over. Same with strafing and looking right and looking left, whatever else. So basically, you can take your time here. Just do one control at a time if you want. Just make sure that it's right. If you push up and you want that to look up, just go into the options and switch them over. To get into the options, you press both of your thumbsticks in together. Yeah, basically, if you scroll down, you can see these are all the thumbstick commands. You just switch them over. Whichever ones you want to swap them, go and swap them. If it's looking down when you're pushing up on the right thumbstick, you can just swap it in here and it will just set it all for you. And as I said, just do a couple options, go out and make sure it's fine, then come back in. Just keep checking it. Once you've done it once, it's done. And when you first start configuring it, when you press back after you set your first controls, come down to Save Game Remap File. If you click Save Remap File, it's going to save it for the old Nintendo 64, so every game will use the same controls. You don't want that. Save Game Remap File. And again, I just go back to the game and still on the right thumbstick, instead of looking up, when I push up, it's looking down. So I'll go back in, change that over. And you can basically configure it to exactly how you want it to play. And now, as you can see, I'm happy with my controls and it all runs absolutely fine. Moving on to GoldenEye, exactly the same. When you first load it up, it's going to be absolutely all over the shop. To press both your thumbsticks in and just keep tweaking away at it and setting up exactly how you want it to play. And remember, once you've configured some controls, press back and make sure you save the game remap file. And I'm going to show you why in a little minute or two. And after I've done all my configuring, GoldenEye's playing exactly how I want it to play on my Xbox controller. So next up, Perfect Dark. Load the game, press both of your thumb sections together. And this is obviously exactly the same controls as GoldenEye, more or less. So if we go down to Controls, go to the Manage Remap Files, load remap file. You want to load the GoldenEye remap file up and then save the game remap file straight away again. Now, basically, it's going to put all them controls into the Perfect Dark remap file. And without doing any configuring, it's playing exactly how you want it to play. So now just quickly with PlayStation, you see a Gran Turismo running in the background. This is basically all personal preference. It's however you want to play it. It looks okay with that, it looks fine. If you press your back button on the PlayStation, you can go down to Advanced System Options. I believe it's running on auto, the top one, which is Madnafin PSX8W. Basically, as you see, there's all 4 of these here. You can click them, don't worry about ruining anything. You can just click them, try them out, see which you prefer best. And then you can always just come back in here and put it back on auto or whatever. Swan Station and Duck Station are really popular, but personally, I prefer the PCSX rearmed. But anyway, if we come back out of this, and we go down to internal resolution, I'm just going to put this on 4 times for now. Your computer will handle it full blast, I suppose. But just to show you, after it's been upscaling, I don't like the rendering on the graphics. I think they look like a bit jellified. When you look at stuff, it doesn't look right. But as I say, this is all personal preference. It looks crisper, obviously. You can see it looks a lot crisper, but there's something with it. So anyway, we'll come back out. I'm going to put it onto the PCSX rearmed core. And then the settings here on the internal resolution, you've only got the 3 settings. You've got the native, the enhanced SpeedAC. We're going to go with the enhanced. I've never tried the SpeedAC. Now, as you can see, the graphics don't look nowhere near as good. They look a lot pixelated. But personally, I prefer this core. It feels a lot more like the PlayStation used to. Now, if I put the games side by side, you might just be able to pick up what I mean with the jellified graphics on the right-hand side. Moving on to PlayStation 2, and we're going to be going along with the PCSX2 AVX2 emulator. Again, they're ones and they're older, but there might be certain stuff that runs on the older emulators, but I've never ran into any issues with the newer one. And again, while you're in here, again, the advanced system options, you can go down to your internal resolution and you can change this to whatever you want. Your PC will probably run it easily enough at 1080p. My PC is really dated and it runs at 1080p easily. But just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to put it on 720p, 2 times resolution. But anyway, we'll update the emulator before we start. So on your games wheel, if you go up to Retrobat, and then you want to go down to the PCSX2 selection. And as you can see here, there's 3 different ones. But like I say, we're going with the AVX2. Now as we're in here, we can see it's on the 1.73 version of the emulator. And I know full well that's quite a lot out of date. So if you go to help and check updates, you can see the current version is from Saturday, January the 14th, 2023. And the newest version is March the 22nd, 2025. So we'll try and download and install the update. And I'm going to get this error pop up here. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be the same on all your drives. I'm assuming it probably is. But because I've got Retrobat installed all over the place on numerous drives, it could be something down to my PC. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to update the emulator anyway. So in your search string, you want to search for PCSX2. And then as you can see here, it says latest stable. Now we're going to click on this. And we're just going to click the download link. And then if you go into your download section, You're going to see it's here. We need to unzip this file. So whatever zip program you use, I'm going to unzip it where it is. And then as I said on my last video, every time you're messing about and updating your emulators, always make sure you back up the old one just in case something goes wrong. In this case, I'm just going to rename my PCSX2 on the 6 system drive to PCSX2 old. Then the PCSX2 file we've just unzipped, I'm just going to copy that over to the drive. And then I'm just going to click rename again. And then I'm just going to delete all the text until it says PCSX2 only. And now when we load the emulator up, it's going to be set as a fresh emulator. So we're going to have to just do a little bit of configuration here. Click next on the first section. And then you're going to have to choose your BIOS file, which you've already got. Obviously, if you go into your old PCSX2 emulator, you've got a BIOS folder in there, and that's got all the PlayStation BIOSes in. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it into the PCSX2 new folder. And then if we click Browse, and we're going to locate it. You're going to double-click the 6-game system drive, go to Core Type R, Collections, Computers, ROMs, Retromat, and then you're going to go into emulators, down to PCSX2, and then just click your BIOS folder and select that one. I'm not 100% here, but I'll just go with the newest version of the BIOS, which is the European one, version 2, which has got the date of the 14th of 6, 2004. And then on the next section, you can choose where your games are, if you want them all loaded in the background, which is good for if you want to configure games individually. So again, you'll just come back out to the ROMs folder, down to the PlayStation 2, click on the ROMs, then click select. Then it's going to ask you if you want to scan subdirectories, which is going to take a lot longer. We're not going to go with that. Click next. As you can see here, controller mapped to the default keyboard. When you click automatic mapping, then we're going to go down to the SDL0X input controller. As I've said, I'm using an Xbox controller. Setup complete. Finish. Help. Check for updates. And as you can see now, we've got no new updates. So while you're in the actual emulator, you can click your Add Games directory. This is handy because you can individually set up each game. And I'm just going to go with the USA folder here for now. You can click both of them in, but we'll quickly load the top game, Agent Under Fire. And as you can see here, it's going to say current blending accuracy is basic. We recommend setting to full. Now, if you've got an older system, this might slow it down. So it's going to be trial and error here again. But we're going to go into settings. And then here, if you want to mess about with your controller, this is where you can come in and configure it. We're going to go down to emulation. Just going to put this on full screen, sorry. Go to graphics. And then if you go to rendering, you can see the blending accuracy options in here. If you put it to I, it's still going to shoot the arrow up, so we're going to put it onto full. As I said, test this out on your computer. If it slows it down, then you can put it on another one. And I'll show you in a minute how to get rid of that error so it doesn't annoy you. Now, because I've updated the PlayStation 2 emulator, a lot of my old settings are going to be out of date, so you're going to have to get rid of them. I'm just going to click yes to continue. I'm going to restart it, and I'm going to have to put all that same stuff back in again as we've just done. And then when I go to load the game, it's still coming up with that same error. Now, I do apologise, but I'm forgetting a minute. I believe it's either escape button or your Xbox button on your controller to shoot this menu up. If you go down to settings, you've got all your different settings in here, what you can go through. As you've just seen on the actual emulator itself, you can do it all via this menu as well. You can have a play about with a renderer. Usually the Vulkan or the Direct 3D 12 would be the best cores. You can have a play about with them. I'm just leaving it on automatic here. You can make it a 16:9 ratio. You can turn up resolution. But if you come down here to blending accuracy, we're going to put it on full within here. Also, you want to make sure this confirm shutdown's not enabled. Otherwise, it'll be shooting an error up in the background. And also here, you've got the save state on shutdown option as well. So basically, if you're playing the game and you shut it down, it's automatically going to save your game. Whether you want to put that on or not, again, that's up to you. Because if you go across here on the menu to hotkey settings, if you scroll down, you can see all the different hotkeys. If you come to this section here, you can see these are all your hotkeys for saving. So basically, if you press function 1, it's going to save your game at any point. And then if you press function 3 again, then it's going to load that save game straight back up. And then you can flick through with your shift and function 2 button to change the different save slots. And then we're going to close the game. And as you can see here, you've got the option to save it if you want to, or you don't have to save it. But again, I go to try and load the game up and this error is still coming up, which is pretty annoying. There's probably a workaround for it, but we're going to press the back button in the game's wheel, go down to advanced system options again. Come down to visual rendering. And we're going to change the blending accuracy inside the emulator to full here. And as you can see, that sorts it. I'm assuming Retrobat's sort of conflicting with the save options you do via the emulator here. There's probably a fix, you could probably turn it off, but this is the easy solution for now. Now also, if you come back into that menu, go to your settings. If your PC is struggling by putting it onto that setting. If you scroll down to this section here, you'll see it says show messages. And I'm assuming, because I didn't check it, but I'm assuming that's, if you turn this option off here, it's not going to show the message in the top left-hand corner. But again, after the update, every single game I tried on the PlayStation 2 is going to run fine. So then I'm quickly going to put it on 1080p, just for reference. You go to settings, go across the hotkeys, you can remember to save your game, you're just going to press function 1. And you see top left-hand corner, it's going to say that it's saved the game. And then we're going to go back down to advanced system options, internal resolution, and we're going to put it on 3 times, which is the equivalent to 1080p. Load the game back up, and it's running totally fine, full speed, 1080p. Now, another quick tip while we're in here, if you've got a bit of a dated computer, you want to make sure it's running fine and everything's running full speed. If you go back into the settings menu and you come down to the bottom here, you can put all the show the game speed and all that sort of stuff, and you can click whatever you want on here and it's going to show you all the information in the top right hand corner of the screen. You can show the frames per second, show speed, whatever else you want to put on there. And now when I resume the game, you see in the top right hand corner, it's got all this information on. This is handy, like I say, if you've got a bit more of a dated computer, you can enable these options. Come in, test all the different games at the different resolutions. Like if you put it on 1080p, you can come in, make sure everything's running full speed, have a little tinker about, and then turn all the games off once you're happy with all your settings. Moving on to PSP. There's 2 options for the emulator here, which is PPSS-PP and the Liberto Core PPSS-PP. I don't think you're going to go wrong with either, to be fair. PPSS-PP is a brilliant emulator. We'll go straight down and put the internal resolution onto 5 times. So we're going to take a look at the actual emulator. We're going to scroll up to the Retrobat option in the game's wheel. And we're going to go to PPSS-PP. And as we can see here, everything's in French. If we go down to parameters, come to system, and at the top you'll see a language or language. I'm going to change that to English or whatever you want to change it to. So if you look in the top right hand corner, you can see the PPSS-PP version we've got is 1.12. So we'll go to the actual website, and the actual available version is 1.181. So we're going to download this, and we're going to download the PPSS-PP3 as zip file, portable. Then we're going to navigate to where PPSS-PP Emulator is on the Peaprit drive. And we're going to come down to the PPSS-PP folder. And I'm going to copy and paste this in. Again, if you want to back this up here, back it up. Replace the files. It's saying it can't be open because obviously I've got it open in the background like a bonker. So we'll close that, try again. And now we're set to the 1.18 version. Again, you could come in here, all your settings to put your 10 frame skip in and the buffer effects and change your back end. Again, I believe Vulkan will probably be the better one. And I can't remember, I didn't test on them all now, but it's been a while, so. You can also change your resolution and upscale and all that sort of stuff in here. will load from Russia with Blabber. And again, you're not going to have any issues with PSP emulation. All the games are going to run absolutely perfect.
There's no escape.
Nice counter-strike. Rico had his ducks lined up in a row there. What a show of strength.
You're preaching to the choir, Mike.
So one thing that did happen here when I loaded the SOCOM game up, there's a weird shadowing going on with the graphics. So we're going to go and change the core to Vulkan to see if that helps with this. And change into the Vulkan core has fixed the graphical issues here, and it plays absolutely fine now.
Aiming the action reticle and tapping the circle button. Tap the circle button again to confirm the move. Alternatively, you can hold down the circle button to access the movement command menu.
So what I do suggest is now we'll go into the advanced system options, and we're going to change to the actual Vulkan core for the old system, because I only changed it for that one game.
Can you hear me? You're in the past. The overdrive device sent your conscience there.
The sacrifice incident from a year ago. It's the area where the Babel appeared.
In case you're wondering, you're inside a National Guard, Aya, but your body is...
Now I'll move on to the PS Vita. I'm going to load a game up. This is the standard settings, and the games will all work straight away, but it's not going to ask you to update the emulator doing it like that. So we're going to go straight into the emulator setting via Retrobat on the games wheel. We're going to go out to Vita 3K. And it's going to ask us straight away if we want to update it. It's not been updated since my birthday last year, the 19th of April 2024, so we're going to update it. Vita 3K is fast becoming a really good emulator now. It's starting to work and emulate the games really well. When I tried it last year, I tried a load of different games, it just wouldn't run it on my computer whatsoever. It was just bloody unplayable. And now there's quite a few running and it's getting better and better all the time.
しみのねごめんね待ちなさい
And I'm quickly going to just try and change the emulation up to 1920 with 1080 basically on the Bridge Racer to have a look. Still runs absolutely fine.
May contain useful weaponry. Do not nod if you understand.
Do something. Got it. Hatchishu. Shoryuken.
Now, when you scroll right down to the bottom on the PS Vita, all the games titles are in Japanese stroke Chinese, which is a bit of a pain in the arse because you don't know what the games are. And there might be a Diamond and Rough here. There might be a really good little RPG game or something in here that's got English language on it. So what we can do is put a name to them. Navigate to the emulator section. And then when we get to the Vita 3K folder, we're going to come down to the UX0 folder. Go to App. That's all the games that come with this drive. So now if we open another window up and go to the ROM section for the PS Vita, you'll see all these different files. They're .m3u files and they're basically shortcuts for the game. Now if you click one, right click it and click Edit with Notepad, it's going to give the actual serial number for the game. And with this one, it's PCSG00347. So we can scroll up and find that actual game in this folder, which it's here. So now we can just click on this folder. You can click to rename it and then copy the number so I'm going to remember it. Now if we go to the internet, you can write something along the lines of PS Vita game and then paste it in, whatever you want, or just paste the number in and then we'll look for the game. Sometimes you can find them all different sites, but we're going to click on this one. You can see here there's a picture and it's got that exact serial code number on it. Zoom in and we can see the game's called Atelier Alicia. So then I'm going to go back to the ROM folder and I'm going to rename the actual M3U file. Now this doesn't matter, you can call this whatever you want because basically all the system needs is that serial number what's inside it. It's just a shortcut telling you where it is, so you can call this whatever you want. It's not going to affect anything. So we'll call it Atelier Alicia. We're going to load Retro back up. And when we come into this PS Vita collection, the game's there, obviously unscraped. But because we've named it, it's going to actually look for that name now instead of what it was called before. And it finds all the artwork, the video, the image, the logo. So again, it's just a little bit of something. If this is what you want to do, it's just to make smarten it up. I'm quite anal with stuff like this. So this is one thing. If I'd brought this drive, I'd definitely be doing this on every single game. So we'll go along and just do one more. We'll edit the .m3u file. We'll copy and paste the serial code into the internet. And it's coming up and finding it straight away. It's another version of the Atelier games, which I've never played, to be fair. So now if we click it, we can highlight that. Right-click, copy. Go back to his ROMs folder, click the actual ROM, rename it, paste that in. Back into Retrobat, we're going to update his games lists. And now the other game is here again. Obviously it's unscraped, so we'll try and scrape it as it is. I'm going to delete all this because you'll find it probably won't find anything with such a long title. We're just going to leave the Tele Escher part of the title. And again, it's found it here, so we'll download this. And also, while you're in here, if you just want to scrape some of the games, it's going to find a lot more artwork. Obviously, they've tried to do this a long time ago, so they want them in the pictures and stuff here. So we'll just click on Angry Birds, click Scrape, and it's going to find the picture, video, and logo. So you can basically just neaten everything up, make it look a lot better. Now we'll move on to the PlayStation 3. First game, I try and load Quantum of Solace. Starts off all right, and then straight away as you go to go load the game up, it just crashes. Being as the PlayStation 3's emulator is not set up like it is on my drive, with all the custom configurations for the games, you're going to have to load a game up first, or you can go into the emulator and direct it where all your games are, but I'll just show you this way. So we just load Alien vs Predator up. We're going to come back out, we're going to go up to the Retrobat portion again, we're going to go to the RPCS3. And in here, there's only a few games that are set. None of them have got a custom config. A lot of games need these to play. So we come into the config, go into the emulator. You noticed in the Alien game, it was showing the PPU and the shader in the bottom left-hand corner. I don't like that showing. So if you deselect both of these options here, it's not going to come up on the screen while you're playing the game. Save that. Now that's basically your standard custom configuration. If you right-click on the game and go to Create Custom Configuration, whatever options you've got set there, they're going to put that into that game. Now, next to where it says Alien vs Predator, you'll see the little two black lines, which is basically this game's now got a custom configuration. Go up to Help, check for updates. And again, the emulator hasn't been updated since 2023, so we're going to update it now. So basically, it's not been updated for 462 days. Then we're going to load Army of 2 up, and you're going to notice all this blur effect where everything's looking really bright and the graphics don't look right. And this is what I mean by games needing a custom configuration. So we're going to go to the internet again, and we're going to type in Army of 2 RPCS3. You'll see it here, I'll just click this. Now if you look for the link to the wiki, this is where you're always going to find the settings that you need. So we click it, and it says on the GPU configuration side, we need to make sure the right colors buffer option is set to on, and this is going to fix the bloom issue. So we go back into Retrobat, come down to the game, we're going to right click it, we're going to create a custom configuration from global settings, and then we're going to go to the GPU section and we're going to enable the right color buffer. Load the game back up, plays perfectly.
Yeah, we won't get hit. Over.
So I'm just going to show you one more example of this. We're going to go to load Battlefield Bad Company 2 up. And when you get to the part where you're coming in on the boat, the screen's going to be pitch black. You can't see what you're doing on it, basically.
What do you think, Key? I don't know, Faraday. But I guess you're gonna tell me.
See, the way I figured, we get atomic bombs, crowd's got V2s, Japs have got to have something too.
We're here for the scientist.
So we'll go back to the internet, and we're going to type in Battlefield Bad Company 2 RPCS3. Again, go to the wiki page, and it's exactly the same option here, which fixes a lot of stuff on a lot of games. The right colour buffers needs to be on to fix the black screen. So back to Retrobat. Right-click Battlefield Bad Company 2, create a custom configuration, go to the GPU section, right colour buffers as save, And now when we come back to the game, the black screen's gone.
There it is. Now we wait.
Sarge, you think this roar thing's really there?
That's what they say.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say. What do you...
Much more personal.
Multiple prohibited items.
I want Joker searched again.
It's not the patient. It's...
Ooh, would you sneak in with your bats? Come on, tell me. Batarangs, bat claws, ooh, bat smacks.
Scan is green on Joker.
Open the gate. Get him out of there. I want weapons on him at all.
You're aiming near the target. You can snap onto them by repeatedly popping in and out of aiming down the sight. Proper good job, mate. Now go get a sidearm from the armory. Good. Now switch to your rifle. Now pull out your sidearm. Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading. Alright, so, come this way. Using your knife is even faster than switching to your pistol. Nice! Your fruit-killing skills are remarkable. Captain Price wants to see you.
Shot's on. It's another very good save, and it didn't get away from him, the ball either. Headed down to a teammate. Attacking now. Nugent! And this is a goal! Well, he aimed low and put it right into the corner.
Point the room at the snitch. You won't catch the snitch if you don't aim at it. Come on! Are you Slytherin, Captain, or Gryffindor? Great!
Keep going. I see that you're still insane, Lynch.
Come back here! Brady, goddammit! Shit! Don't fucking believe it! Reload!
When we load Madden 2015 up, I'm pretty sure you can see the issue here with the pitch, and there's no fix of that. Then we're going to try and load Metro Last Light up. Again, there's an issue with the black screen. So we'll go back to the internet, Metro Last Light, or PCS3. Click on the wiki, and then it's telling us a different option here. The SPU X-Float accuracy has got to be set to accurate. So we'll right click again, create custom config. Remember, this is in the CPU section this time. And the option's set to approximate by default. We're going to change this to accurate. Apply, save, come back into the game, and it works fine.
Shit! Shit! What's going on here?
Sleeping Dogs crashes here. It always crashes on mine. I know it crashes in the same place every time as you're running down through these bags. And also, Uncharted 2 was the next game I tried, and I went to all the fixes, and no matter what I did with it, I couldn't get it to work, which is weird because it works on mine, so I'm assuming it might be a bad ROM. I'll just quickly show you all the settings that you need to change for Uncharted. Also, in this section, it's going to recommend some patches, which I'm going to show you how to use them. So we're going to go down to his game, Uncharted. Now we'll come down to his game, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. We're going to right-click it, and we're going to go down to Manage Game Patches. And then it's going to ask you to download the latest patches. Obviously, you click yes here. And now when you click the Uncharted 2, it's going to show you there's two different versions that you can patch. Basically, the version on the drive is going to be the version 1. It's not going to be updated to the version 1.9. So we can bring up all the different patches here, and we can activate the ones that it recommends. But as I said, I put all these in, went to load the game up, and it just crashed with the spinning blade in the bottom corner. And I remember having this issue before on my game, and I'm pretty sure when I ripped it from my actual original PlayStation 3 game, that's when it fixed it. So we'll move on to Teknoparrot, the pain in the arse. Again, I strongly recommend not to use Teknoparrot for Hyperspin because it kept locking my computer up. It removes your mouse pointer, and unless you go and turn that on in Rocket Launcher, your mouse pointer won't come on, so you can't click on anything. It's just a pain in the arse. So this is the issue here, what I'll come up with. I'll load Dead or Alive 6 up. It's going to basically tell me it's timed out and it's crashed. I've been looking around on the internet for some fixes for this. I'm pretty sure I did it before, but I just cannot bloody remember how I did it. It was so long ago. The game's actually loaded in the background, so when you shut everything down, the game's there, fully playable. Now, the error that pops up is related to Rocket Launcher, which this drive uses with Hyperspin and Teknoparrot to load your games up. So I'll navigate to the Rocket Launcher now. And we'll load the Rocket Launcher UI. Now, while we're in here, we can see there's 6 different systems that he's got in this section. We can go down to Teknoparrot, highlight it. So we're going to click Games. We're going to come down and audit all the games. And this is basically all the Teknoparrot games we've got. We can go up to Dead or Alive 6, right click it, click Game Options. And this can usually fix quite a lot of stuff here if you put the fade to false on the in and out. It's basically just the loading screen what it puts up while your game's loading. So now I'll try and load it back up again, and as you can see the fade's not there. Works fine, we start playing it, and then it comes back up with the error again. As I've said, I've had this happen on loads of games loaded up for Hyperspin. And this, again, is where these drives fail. This is obviously an issue. It's going to be an issue for a lot of people, and they just leave it in there. And for people who don't know what they're doing or basically don't know how to load Teknoparrot, it's just a real pain in the ass. So now, while we're in the emulator section, we're going to go into the actual Teknoparrot emulator. And for me, this is what I'd do. I'd create a shortcut for the Teknoparrot, have it on your desktop, and just use that. Just run it straight through the emulator. You're literally going to have hardly any issues then if you run it through the emulator. Running it through Hyperspin is just going to give you the world of pain. Now, mostly what Teknoparrot will do will load every single game detailing. So basically, if you don't have that game, it will still be listed there. So with mine, what I usually do is remove the games that I don't have working. So if we can come back on the left, this is just a little trick if you want to do this. You can load Rocket Launcher UI up. Keep this to the left-hand side. Go down to Teknoparrot. Auditor games again, so it loads every single Teknoparrot game up. And here on the left, you'll see that our first game is a list. There's 3 other games on the Teknoparrot list that aren't actually on the hard drive. And there's going to be stacks of these in here that aren't actually on the hard drive, so they just will not load. So you can come up to the top left-hand corner where it says Update Available. I'm not going to be updating the Teknoparrot update. I don't know if it's going to ruin anything on this drive, and if all the games work, there's no point updating it, basically. Now, if we click Add Game, you can see the top game, Action Decker. We don't actually have this game, so we can click Delete Game. Now, that's not going to remove it for good, because you can go straight back in there if you do actually get the game and you get it working, and you can reactivate it. Again, Afterburner Climax is not in here. This is on my version. I don't know why they haven't put it in there, because it works fine. And now if you come back in and you do get Hyper Game working, obviously you can just click it and then click Add Game, and it's going to put that back into your list. But just to neaten it up so you're not scrolling down trying to find a load of games that aren't working, again, this is something you can do. And again, it's something what I'd do. And when I load a list up, it's not the full screen. It's just in windowed mode. But my monitor was set to 2550 by 1440 here, which could be causing the issue. Sometimes you can go into the game settings and you'll be able to actually change the resolution in there or change it from windowed mode, but in this case, you can't. And while you're in here, if you want to change any of the controls, you literally just go to Controller Setup, click on whichever button is which, choose which button you want, click Save, and you can basically set it up however you want it. So next up, I'm going to go and load Aliens Extermination up. And when I'm playing these shooter light gun games, I like to play with my mouse, or if I've got my Mayflash Dolphin bar on, you can set it up and use it with your Wii remote here. So when we click the game, we'll go down to Game Settings, and it's set to X Input, which is obviously for your Xbox controller. And also you've got all these different options in here. You can put cheats on, you can put whatever you want, you can add your cursors, change your sensitivity, have a tinker about with it, it doesn't matter, you can just come put it back to what it was on if it doesn't work. But we're going to change where it says X Input, and we want to put it onto Raw Input, Save Settings. Now go into the controller setup, choose whatever you want here for your keyboard. I always just press number 1 to add coins and return start. And then when we go to the light gun option, you're just going to click this, and on the drop down menu, you're going to choose your mouse. And then you can choose your triggers, special, flame, button. And I'll use left mouse, right mouse, and middle mouse button for these.
Help me! Where are they?
They're everywhere.
Oh.
Look out! They're behind us!
Now, when I'd done playing Aliens, I noticed the escape button wasn't letting me exit the game. So if you come into the settings and you look at the global hotkeys on the right-hand side, it says exit game, and that's set to 0 times 51, which I've got to be honest, I haven't got a clue what it is. But I know full well on my version of Teknoparrot, it works fine. So I'll load that up here, and that's set to 0x1b. So I'm just going to copy that. Go back into the settings on the other drive, and I'm going to paste it in there. Save settings, and now when I go and exit the games, they all exit fine with the escape key. The next issue I run into when I load Batman up, it's just going to be in the windowed again. And now this is because my monitor's set to 2560 by 1440. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to change this to 1920 by 1080, and then I load it back up and it plays fine. Well, saying plays fine, it runs ridiculous. If anybody's tried to play it, it's so sensitive, and you can go and change the sensitivity and it basically does nothing. So for me, it's pretty much unplayable. So then we'll move on to Final Burn Alpha. I'll show you some game footage. Every single game I played loaded. It was just picking which one it was because there's 8,000 repeat games in here. But still, everything runs absolutely fine in here.
Ready. Fight! First attack!
Future Pinball also, I loaded a couple of tables up on here, both work fine. I'm pretty sure every single table will work on this.
Real nice.
Waste your shot.
Why should I stand with any? 4 of you have tried to kill me in the past. 1 of you succeeded.
Then on Homebrew MAME, the first couple of games I tried to load up, which was Pengo and Asura Buster, neither game worked. And then I tried to load a few more games up and they all worked fine, so I think you're going to get mixed results in here. Then we'll have a look at MAME, and I just want to show you these Player's Edge games here. There's about 8 zillion of them, and I hate this in the menus. The first thing I'd be doing is going and deleting every single one of these. They're all like poker games and stuff. But then after that, I clicked random and put a random few games on. Every game worked. And then I put some absolute classics on at the end, my favourite arcade games. Every single game I loaded on MAME loaded.
Today's game, the Bengals versus Kurt in 10.
Right two. Nice batting. Wow.
Pinball FX3 loads fine, and there's 93 tables available here. If you like pinball games, this is really, really good.
My collection.
Walkers look to have cleared out.
Nice shot.
Search your house for weapons.
Then we move on to the Sammy Atomisave.
Let it go!
Then with Model 2, every game I tried, loaded. And to be fair, they set up really well on here. Like the shooting games are configured really well. When you first set up the Model 2, when you're aiming, it's basically nowhere near where it shoots. So it's everything was set up perfect on this, to be fair. And every game worked fine.
Easy right. Wow. Over jump. Easy right. Long medium right. Checkpoint. Wow. Easy right. Over jump. Easy left. Okay. Ready, go!
Now, Model 3, when we load it up, we can see Sega Rally 2 is running crazy fast again. So now, if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a fix exactly the same for the AMD graphics cards. So in Windows, you're going to press your right mouse button, and you're going to go to your NVIDIA control panel. We're going to go to the program settings, and now we're going to go and click Add. And when you do this, you might think it's locked up. Just leave it a little while. It's going to populate all your programs. So then we'll click Browse. We're going to go to the 6 system hard drive, Core, Collections, Computers, ROMs, Hyperspin Attraction. We're going to go to the emulators. We're going to go to the Sega Model 3. We're going to highlight the Supermodel XE and click Open. Now any settings you're going to make in here are going to be implemented into the actual program itself. So we're going to come down to max frame rate, and we're going to try it on 30 frames per second, because a lot of the older games was 30 frames per second games. And then we're going to load it back up, and it's running ridiculously slow now. So now we know it's a 60 frame per second game. Sometimes you might find 60 frames per second run too fast. That's why I'm showing you put it on 30 frames per second. But we're going to up this now to 60 frames per second. We're going to load it back up, and it's going to run absolutely fine.
Let the action begin. Go!
Where's Sarah and Ian? They went to the laboratory. You can find them with this detector.
Look out!
Then we'll move on to the Sega Naomi, which is basically the Sega Dreamcast chip. So all the games are going to look exactly the same as they do on the Sega Dreamcast. And every single game I loaded here, again, works and plays absolutely fine.
We truckers are considered real professionals by making our deliveries on time. So hurry up and become a full professional, you hear?
Move the body of the fighter. Follow the marker. Good. Well done. Now, making right turns. Good. Now pull the control stick to make the turn.
Oh no!
G! James, I tried. Don't underestimate the enemy. James, take this.
So then to Naomi 2, just loaded a few games up here. The Wild Riders game seemed to be really weird with the control. It didn't seem to be playing right, but it actually loaded and played.
Fight one. Ready? Go! Ha! Just before the orange line.
Ultra 64, the Killer Instincts 1 and 2 games, both load and play. These are really popular games. And then lastly, we'll look at the iPad Neo Geo 64, which used to run absolutely shocking. You couldn't play them at all, basically, when last time I tried them. And now they seem to be really playable. The only issue is the sound is pretty much screwed on all the games, which is a real shame because they seem to have run out really well. And I'll just repeat basically what I said in the first video. If you're after something to build your own system and you want a bit of a ROM dump, this drive will be perfect for you. If you're not too bothered about all the repeat ROMs and you're not really serious, you just want a bit of nostalgia and go back and play all the games you used to play, then this is going to be fine. If you're wanting something serious, which is totally plug and play and everything's going to work, then this drive's not for you. They're basically thrown together, they put all the ROMs on them, don't really check anything, don't do any configuring, and then just sell them. And then, as you can see on the video, they never update them. The emulators are bloody years out of date, so. But hopefully this review stroke guide, it's been more of a guide to be fair, to help people out who's spent the money on this drive. Has helped a lot of you out. And if it has, I'd really appreciate if you consider liking and subscribing. And with that, I'll shut up and go. Until next time, peeps.